Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mansier. I want to come again today to speak with you about. I also discuss this great star nation of Arcturus. For those who believe that it is possible that the universe may be inhabited by higher intelligence, higher civilization. For those who do not believe that, this video may not be for them. For in essence, Arcturus are the guardians of the fifth dimension. They've been ascended a really long time ago. They made an individual ascension, which is different than the collective ascension we are undertaking here. For those who are aware of ascension, it's only 1%. 99% of the population have never heard of that. They've never been told that they are interdimensional being, multi-dimensional being. And so I will soon publish my book, which I will promote in the media and will inform people, and then they will make their own choice. This painting behind me maybe or may not be finished. I'm not really sure. It's about the galactic alignment, and it's through the I Am and the Gaia here, the great central sun with all the planets around. It may be finished. I'm not really sure. I'm going to go really slow on it. So Arcturus was essentially there is some great star nations that are being shepherded. They are the shepherd to the human soul. First, because it's when people die, they have to go through the Arcturian matrix. Although they are ascending beings, they are ascended masters, and so they became that because the universe has asked them to become the shepherd of the human life, the human path, and in many sense. So when people have near-death experience, they see this white matrix, this white tunnel of life where they meet all the people they love that are passed away, and this is the Arcturian matrix. Then they are sent back because their life contract is not here. That's what they call near-death, near-death. And so Arcturians are so in essence we live in when we move we merge our mental and astral body. We reach the soul level, the fifth dimension, which is the realm of connectivity. Then we ascend into the sixth dimension, which is the place where we discover new sound and new colors. We discover harmonic light, the sacred geometry. It is the realm of the sacred child, and then eventually we can merge into different timelines and follow different timelines, and it is very fluidic dimension. Then we ascend into the seventh dimension. We leave those dimensions and we become the eye of God, anchored into reality. We become ascended master. We become in the service of all life, and so it becomes the apex of individualized consciousness. Then we open to the eighth dimension. We open the portal of infinity, and we find our soul family. We become our collective self, and it's where all the soul plans are formulated. Then we ascend into the ninth dimension, and then we align into this. And it is where the divine will is being manifest, and it is where the divine plans are on the eighth dimension are being aligned with the divine plan on the ninth dimension. Then we open to the 10th dimension, which is the great solar dimension, the dimension of light and beauty. That's open to our solar nature, our total solar nature, a star nature. And then we open into the 11th dimension, which is the galactic. It's the first level of galactic integration, the central sun, and then the universal on the 12th dimension, this universal nature, and then on 13th dimension is a bridge dimension into higher planes of reality. So in a sense, Arcturians have been moving. We all move step by step in the ascension process through the dimensional realm. Right now, we are as humans, we're living the third and fourth dimension. We want to reach the fifth dimension. Arcturians are from the ninth dimension, and they want to move to the 10th. Or those who are in 10th want to move into 11. But they have, in a sense, you can already travel to Arcturus just by asking. Arcturians are benevolent beings. I've never known rebellious Arcturians. I've known Pleiadian rebels or Centurion rebels. But Arcturus is a great Elohim as well. As far as I know, they didn't even participate in the galactic wars that happened 4 million years ago because they were already enlightened and they already were able to protect themselves. They have a defensive technology on their ships. You may call on a ship called Athena. It was called that in tribute to the great goddess of wisdom, Athena. It's a great, beautiful ship of light that they have plateaus of technology. You may want to ask to be taken there, to go there. There is also a program once you can ask to go spend the time in the physical body of an Arcturian in the fifth dimension, and while he comes and live a moment in your body for like short times. For the Arcturians in the fifth, sixth, seventh dimension are in physical form, but as you move higher, you're no longer in physical form, you're in more ethereal form. And so in essence, Arcturus has 15 planets. They're all inhabited. They're incredible. They are master in creation. They are the ones who created all the technologies of Atlantis for the most part, all the sacred crystal. They are expert in the manifestation of a sacred crystal and programmation of crystal. The crystal skull of Atlantis were created by Arcturians. And if you go to Arcturus, just go to ask to be guided, to be led to Arcturus Prime, which is the central world. It is a magnificent place. It's made of crystal and water, and it's so beautiful. It's so amazing that what can be said. I mean, I do not have a full memory, but I know as higher beings, we come from another universe. We came down here. We all have connection to those higher planes. And so I had to do many incarnations on Arcturus, in Pleiades, in Sirius, in many places, many other places where before I accepted to come down to this lowest of lowest form, which is a physical realm. But we all had those higher incarnations. We all have family and friends in those dimensions. We just have forgotten when we came down here. So to call on the Pleiadians, the Sirians, or the Arcturians, but call on them for they will be able, as you call on them and you give them the permission slip to interact with you, they will be able to assist you with all your telepathy or everything. They are great teachers, they are great healers. And if you go to Arcturus Prime, if you made a chance to make it there, I recommend you ask to be guided to the crystal temple, the crystal lake of Tomar. Tomar is a spirit I've heard of. I mean, this was the told story, but I've communicated and come to this great powerful spirit who had created this huge crystal. The crystal is so powerful, it had to be on the bottom of a lake, because it was too powerful. It would overtake everything. It would be too powerful. So you go to this temple, this lake. It's a beautiful lake. It's a really big lake. And then you allow yourself to go into the water in fifth dimension or seventh dimension. You can breathe underwater, and then you reach the bottom. You see that it's just a clear crystal. And then you go into the crystal, you go all the way to the bottom of the crystal, and then you will see there are many other beings. Sometimes even the Christ goes there to regenerate his energy. There's great ascended master go to visit this crystal, the bottom of the crystal, because it's so powerful. It is something that regenerates your energy. In a sense, Arcturian families, the society is very different. They are galactic families. It means that the functioning is very different. They don't have those limited technologies. They have a crystal in the center of their home, and they just can move through the crystal to teleport, or they can receive any information they want. And so I thought I shared I wanted to speak about my friends and Arcturus. They've been around me since I was a little child. I've had Arcturian connections, but when I awakened in 1992 to my spiritual connection, I developed this very powerful. I started traveling and visiting all those places. Understand when you hear a message, a channel message, not just from Arcturians, but from any masters or celestial group or galactic groups. Or read a book that's communicated from it. It's like they're watching your reaction. They're here. They're present with you when you read the book or when you listen to the message. So know that the communication is always possible. It is just you can, and there is nothing to fear from Arcturians. They're not like the Greys or the Reptilian or those kind of. There is good Reptilians as well, or the Draconians, or there is, I'm sure, good Draconians as well, good Greys as well. There is positive and negative faction in many galactic societies. Have positive and negative faction, but in Arcturus they're all positive. So you can trust that. That's why I really wanted to move into this Arcturian alignment. It's very important that as we develop that, they will assist us in bringing this omnicentric the connectivity of the fifth dimension. As a last story, is something they shared long ago, is that when they made their ascension, that was millions of years ago, they became telepathic. And so, but they were all becoming telepathic at once, so everybody was receiving the thoughts of everyone else, and it was such a mess. At the time, they were already traveling throughout the galaxy. They're very advanced travelers. They have bases almost like they cannot say that they're everywhere in the galaxy. The galaxy is so big, but they have crossed many. They explored the galaxy maybe more than any of our local universe, except for the Centaurian maybe, but. For all the great explorers in many sense. So when they opened to this telepathic communication, they couldn't figure it out. So, but they were already the galactic travelers, and so they knew a lot about the Nestor nation. And so they were trying to resolve this problem. And so what happened is that they came to the Centaurians, because Centaurians are the scientists, the one that are the best to resolve problems. And so they came to them, and in exchange for the work of resolving that, they were offering some propulsion system that they had that was even more advanced than the Centaurian had at the time. And so we'll exchange those propulsion systems. In exchange, try to find a solution for etheric. They were moving into etheric light body, but they were like bombarded with energy. They couldn't make sense of. It was very unclear. And the solution that came about was that to create a protective bubble. You may want to do that around yourself as well. It is very useful. A protective bubble of white light that is covered, which is like it's like a six branch structures. They use the torus form, and then it is covered by a white light, and then a blue light, and then a silver light on top of it. And from there, it's like everything becomes clear. You only receive the message that was clearly intended for you. And so that was one of the solutions that was found during this great collaboration between two great star nations. And on top of which, when they started doing that, something unexpected happened. A new holographic language was created that none of them really expected that, but they kind of enriched themselves in such a way that the creator created this amazing new language that was so deep in relationship to it was an unexpected bonus as a result of this cooperation. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I just wanted to send a greeting to you and salute and make this connection to Arcturus, the Arcturian alignment, because the Arcturians are in direct alignment to the Andromedan, and so the Andromedan is this huge galaxy. The angels of Andromeda are very powerful beings, and they will bring this golden light of Andromeda into us. But first we need to move into this Arcturian alignment. Arcturians are midway station. They are just as serviceable to the ascending beings that are moving to the spirit planes as the spirit beings that are moving towards the material planes. So it is a very, very busy place in many sense, but it is a very friendly place. And so you may call on the Athena, you may call on any Arcturian group, call on the ninth dimensional Arcturian Council. For those ethereal, there are more, but you can call on fifth dimensional Arcturians for certain work, for you will be guided in whichever way form. They are monitoring what's going on, and they're always happy to serve and exchange. They want to, at some point, they came to the Earth before humans came here 2 million years ago. And then the Earth wasn't really that populated by any advanced. There was some also extraterrestrial. But at some point, the planet get raided by a very dark, by also dark extraterrestrials, and so they all got killed because they were still in semi-material form, and so they had to reincarnate through physical body. And there is some Arcturians that are part of this that had to go through. They became human. So there is some Arcturian souls that are here as well. Like Mozart was an Arcturian, and so that's why it was natural within his gene. He was a genius. No one can deny that Mozart was beyond anybody's expectation when it comes to creation music. When he was very young, he was creating this marvelous symphony. But there is specific codes that affect the DNA within the music of Mozart. The best proof is that there is many proof. The children are very receptive. The plant love Mozart music. In Japan, in Kobe, the cows only listen to Mozart. That's the only music they are allowed to listen, because it makes them feel good. And that is because there was this DNA, this genetic Arcturian genetics within them that Mozart carried with him, and he included some of those codes in his music. The highest wisdom for us today is the arts, for there is a great artist. For me, art is my life. It's everything. My life is about art. It's what I enjoy the most. It's like, and the art is supposed to make life beautiful. So use the art, whether it's creation or enjoyment or appreciation, or use the art. What we need to understand is Atlantis was we have to reawaken this memory when we were in fourth, fifth, sixth dimension or beyond. Some of us on Atlantis were aligned to the 13th octave, and we were like just projecting a bioplasmic body there was a great magical power. There was 3 civilizations on Atlantis. At the end, there was many steps and process in this civilization, but at the final step there was the Atlara, which was the priest scientist, matriarchal society. They were the Aryan, which was a corporatist society, and the sons of Belial, those who were more dualistic, and we incarnated through in all. They were more like a caste system, but we all incarnated through all those processes in order to integrate those defied forms. And so it was the Aryans that made the destruction of Atlantis. Kind of complicated story, but political ins and outs of what went on. Metatron has an interesting video. If you're looking for the final days of Atlantis on the internet, on YouTube, you may want to listen to Metatron, who's talking about that. He's sharing some good information on that. You may want to look it up. The final days of Atlantis, or the final phase of Atlantis, I forgot how it's called, Metatron. Our friend Metatron, the Metatronic light that was awakening within us. And so what we need to do is health. We need to find new ways to become more healthy, to become more, take care of our physical body. For the physical body, as the physical body becomes in alignment, is purified, then it can, the fire of our soul will ignite within each and every one of our cells, and our light body will begin to manifest new powers. And the outcome is war and battles. We need to put an end to those wars and battles. There is always an inner war and battle. The war is never out. It's what people manifest what they feel inside, and so. But this dark and light, the God and the devil, and all those things, is all happening within. It's not happening without. There's no other force that is. It is a resolution that needs to happen within ourselves. As we put an end to it, we find this understanding of biblical. It will be we're really coming at the end of time, and there will be a judgment. And so it is a matter of like preparing yourself. And love is your love and light are the ingredients that you need to terminate all the karma, to make peace with it all. And it's very important to make peace with ourselves as much as possible, and peace with others. Ask the angel to soften the angles for people. It is when we are in angles that we find disconnected, we find in danger. When we are in circle, we are safe always. So use the power of the circle. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. Do not forget to connect to your Arcturian connections. We all have Arcturian guides that are watching over us as well, because we have those deep family connection with them. I'm going to finish with a song. It's a song called Angel. It's an English, strange English, because Jimi Hendrix has a strange English, but I'll go for it. Angel come down from heaven yesterday. She stayed with me just long enough to rescue me. And she tell me a story yesterday about the love between the moon and the deep blue sea. And when it was time for her to go, she spread her wing high over me. And she say, I shall return tomorrow. And I say, fly on, my sweet angel. Fly on through the sky. Fly on, my sweet angel. Tomorrow I will feel you by my side. And sure enough, this morning comes to me, where silver wings silhouette against the glow of a child's sunrise. And as the bluebirds and sparrows envy me, she says, I love you, little boy, and today we shall fly. She kissed me once, and a feeling so good she made me cry. And now we'll fly together. And I say, fly on, my sweet angel. Fly on through the sky. Fly on, my sweet angel. Together we shall always be alive. Well, I wish you a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Let me know if you've already had connection with the Arcturians. I hope you do, and you develop this connection. You will see there is nothing but goodness to discover from that connection. Thank you very much, Salam.